We have an IDP, Integrated Development Plan, which highlights the different challenges that the municipality has. And the most important one currently is housing. It's also local economic development. It's also the community development. You know, our communities are in some areas very underdeveloped. So those are basically the three main areas of concern or challenges that we have. Firstly, we're looking at developing technical capacity, things like urban design. We're also looking at developing town planning skills in this specific project. But we're also looking at community development per se, because in our communities, this type of housing is a new thing. It's a mindset change that we have to bring about. So we need to educate our community to understand and to wrap their minds around rental housing. We have since 2008 had twinning relations with Winterswijk municipality in the Netherlands through the VNG and SALGA in South Africa. We have built capacity in this regard, and I must say it's going very well thus far. We have a number of projects that we embarked upon. We're looking at internal capacity, developing our technical department, our engineering skills, also financial skills, because this specific project demands that we have certain tax collection capabilities that we currently don't really have within the organization. So we're looking at developing those type of skills within the organization. We have developed the design for Umnyama Park. Through frequent visits, we have also interacted and had public participation, workshops with the public and with politicians. So what I would say was currently achieved was that we got politicians, the public and the administrators and technicians to work together to find a model that would work for us in terms of housing development, and specifically social housing and rental housing.
The goal of the Municipal Assembly as far as sanitation and waste management is concerned is to prioritize sanitation first in the municipal capital, Elmina, and in the urban centers where we have challenges as far as waste and sanitation issues are concerned. We want to be able to put up facilities and infrastructure to manage especially solid waste, which is a menace in the municipality at the moment. We first of all are trying to develop the capacity of the assembly to collect and manage sanitation data. We also intend to coordinate sanitation activities and prioritize them. Thirdly, we also intend to be able to improve upon planning, implementation, and monitoring and evaluation on the sanitation and waste management issues. First of all, our sister city, Gouda, helps the assembly in building its capacity to manage issues of waste and sanitation. We also have the VNG program, that is the LGCP, that is building the capacity of staff of the assembly to be able to address these issues. We have training programs that are earmarked specifically to develop the capacity of the assembly to manage situations when it comes to waste and sanitation. One of such is a training program for the environmental health staff by the LGCP program, and this has enabled us to manage and eliminate open defecation in most of our communities. We also have training on data collection and management that was supported by the LGCP program. We also have had engagement and stakeholder trainings and involvement in our sanitation programs, and these are all triggered by the LGCP program.
We are trying to improve on the health styles of our people, we realize that health has a direct bearing on development. And we also know that a community which has good health can increase its productivity. We are therefore trying to de-associate the district from diseases that emanate from sanitation related, so that we can move forward. We have a few challenges with regards to the case we are presenting. It emanates from social, cultural, as well as funding. In terms of culture, there are some practices that are difficult to remove because they have stayed with the people for a long time and hence are part and parcel of the people. It therefore affects behavioral change in our community. We also have social problems that are also part of the everyday lives of the people, as well as funding. We don't have enough funds to address the case that is in question. We have identified several capacities needed in order to address the case that we are presenting. One, we are looking at skills in communication and behavioral change, a required tool in the staff of the assembly which will help impact on the case we are presenting. Secondly, we are also looking at knowledge management skills, a vital tool which will commit staff members in putting up their best. We have been able to engage the services of an expert in puppetry who will actually help in the education in terms of sanitation in the various communities that have been identified. We really hope that this puppetry will do the trick in terms of sanitation related problems that we identify in our communities.
Our goal in general is basically we need a buoyant, serene, commercial and tourist town. Basically we are building, our initiative is to have a clean provision of services to the local communities, vis-a-vis having a food, when they are food secure, putting an input of the compost manure improvement within the productivity of the population. Our major challenges, as you realize, we come from Uganda, so it's basically building the skills capacity within ourselves. We lack major capacities in planning and development within our local government. So basically our challenge is finding the capacity, building the capacity gaps within the planning and budgeting systems for service delivery within our organization. For budget and planning, basically is having the skills enhancement in helping us integrate the food and nutrition security within our plans. That is mainstreaming within all the sectors of the local government. We have different sectors, that is administration, finance, works and technical services. So you realize food and nutrition looks to be a production sector of agriculture. But in detail of it is taken as a whole after the enhancement trainings. It has been realized that it cross-cuts along all the departments. So we need to transfer that knowledge to other sectors, the works for feeder road supplies, administration for management, finance for facilitating the production, for health, because you need a health community in order to have a secure community. So currently we have different categories of people. We have the food and nutrition specialist. That is from Uganda, locally. A Ugandan expert is basically on skills enhancement in food and nutrition security, rolling out the guideline. Then secondly, we have the participating Dutch municipality, that is Hemed Bako, with the Odru group. Basically, that one came in to help us on improvement of manure and compost, improvement of compost manure, and then the quality to support the productivity of food. Then also we have the peer, colleague to colleague, for local government. That is Bushenyi, and then we have Kasese. Those ones we exchange experiences. They have the local experiences, that is peer assist. So the basic activities we are doing, one is training in skills enhancement, as I told you, to help us have the skills to roll out and integrate those plans for food and nutrition within our local government planning systems. That is from village bottom up to the level of our council. So through staff, political heads, and then the local heads within the systems. Then also we have another task of mainstreaming the plans, or the food and nutritional small plans within the major government development plan. We have a 5-year development plan, of which we extract the annual work plans and then the small budgets. So that's a basic task. Then the other side, we have the manure improvement. So we have a task of improving the manure quality, that is clean manure, and then increasing the volumes to be an input in the gardens for soil productivity.
The goal of organization is to develop the capacity of the people in the county and in the community as well. We need to train people to be able to rely on themselves and to work with the community, and also to improve hygiene and sanitation in the county. The challenges, there's a lot of challenges. We have a limitation in the capacity building. People are not well trained. They have a gap. They lack capacity, and the institution also is weak. South Sudan has just emerged from the war, and our institutions are not strong. They're not capable to help the communities. And these are some of the challenges, and people are not able even to planning, budgeting for themselves, to be able to deliver services. Well, the capacity we're trying to develop is to train people, as I mentioned earlier. You have mentioned that earlier. We need the capacity. We're trying to develop the people, and we develop the communities, to empower the communities as well. Let us say, we need to train the community to take ownership in the water management and hygiene and sanitations. We also want to develop a capacity of people to be able to plant, because we have a capacity. People are not, as I mentioned, people are not able to plant for themselves and to develop budget for themselves. And now this capacity, which we need to develop, is to make them able to be able to have a working plan for themselves, to be able, for example, if they have some fund, to be able to use it appropriately. If you develop a plant, and then you must have some fund to meet the cost. So therefore, all these capacities need to be developed within that area. VNG is our partner on the ground. We have done a lot with them. They like an open eye to us. They have helped us to disseminate these water policies. They have helped us to conduct assessments. They have helped us even to conduct and to have workshop on the public health and social development. And they have helped us also to conduct an assessment on the water points. have achieved some things, you know. Well, first of all, we have strengthened our partnership already with VNG. That's also very important in partnerships. We develop trust with VNG. At the same time, our staffs, they're committed. They're committed in the training, ongoing training, because we have training in phases. Our staff are very committed. At the same time, we have conducted an assessment. We have a data collections of water points. That one we have done it in the previous workshop we had. And we believe that we have achieved something.
La vision de notre commune d'ici 5 ans, c'est de faire de Dogo une commune véritablement agricole. Et la grande contrainte, c'est le manque de potentiel au niveau des agriculteurs pouvant leur permettre d'exploiter les différents bas-fonds et puis artésiens que nous avions pour donner plus de productivité, même en compte saison. C'est la grande contrainte que nous pensons surmonter. Actuellement, nous travaillons à renforcer les capacités au niveau des agriculteurs pour leur permettre d'avoir les outils nécessaires pour faire l'agriculture de compte saison, qui est une agriculture très prospère au niveau de nos localités. Donc c'est sur ça que nous sommes en train de travailler parce que nos agriculteurs ne sont pas habitués à la culture de compte saison. Alors cette culture est beaucoup plus rentable. Donc nous travaillons dans ce sens-là. Alors ce que nous souhaitons au niveau de la VNG, c'est qu'elle puisse nous accompagner à former ces agriculteurs et à les amener à exploiter les différents potentiels en termes de bas-fonds que nous avions pour les accompagner à mettre en place le dispositif pouvant par exemple leur permettre de faire cette culture de compte saison. C'est fondamentalement ce que nous espérons au niveau de la VNG International. Et en termes de renforcement de capacité avec le programme LGCP, nous avions déjà eu 3 ateliers régionaux au niveau des départements du Koufo, où ensemble avec les 6 communes du Koufo, on a eu des échanges sur les bonnes pratiques. Et de ces échanges, chaque commune a pu identifier une bonne pratique qu'elle souhaite expérimenter. Et à l'issue des différentes rencontres, la commune de Dogo a choisi de faire un tour au niveau de la commune sœur Clécamé pour aller visiter sa bonne pratique par rapport à la culture de tomates de compte saison et revenir expérimenter cette culture au niveau de la commune de Dogo, étant donné que nous avions beaucoup d'atouts naturels en termes d'eau. Donc c'est grâce à ces rencontres régionales que nous avons pu identifier ces bonnes pratiques qui nous ont intéressés. Et il faut dire qu'au niveau du LGCP, sans peut-être ces rencontres, on n'aurait pas su que telle commune est en train d'expérimenter telle chose qu'il faut aller visiter et faire. Donc en termes de bilan, brièvement, c'est ce que nous avions pu faire avec le projet LGCP pour l'instant et que nous pensons pérenniser à travers ces visites d'échange que nous pensons organiser dans les tout prochains mois.
En termes de capacité, la vision de la commune se décline comme suit. Clécamé est en 2015 une commune assainie, chronique du Koufo, à économie forte et carrefour de l'excellence pour un bien-être social. Donc c'est la vision de la commune, mais de cette vision se découle une vision au niveau de l'agriculture qui est un secteur phare au niveau de la commune. Et cette vision se décline comme suit. Clécamé est une commune où l'agriculture contribue énormément à la promotion de l'économie locale. Oui, en termes de contraintes au niveau du secteur agricole, il faut noter que les produits agricoles ne sont pas transformés. La commune produit suffisamment en matière de production agricole, mais les produits ne sont pas transformés. Il y a manque d'unités de transformation des produits agricoles. Et aussi, il y a la non-maîtrise de l'eau. La non-maîtrise de l'eau qui est un problème qui handicape sérieusement la promotion de l'agriculture au niveau de la commune. Et il y a aussi la maîtrise des techniques, des nouvelles techniques culturelles. Et il y a la maîtrise, la connaissance des techniques ou des itinéraires techniques par les producteurs. La maîtrise des itinéraires techniques par les producteurs constitue un handicap pour le développement de l'agriculture au niveau de la commune. Oui, au niveau de la commune de Koulikame, nous travaillons surtout en termes de renforcement de capacité. Nous accompagnons les producteurs à maîtriser les itinéraires techniques dans le cadre de la production au niveau des filières porteuses. Lorsque nous prenons la tomate, il y a des séances de renforcement de capacité qui sont organisées à l'endroit des producteurs. Donc, ces séances permettent aux producteurs de maîtriser les itinéraires techniques. Et il y a aussi des séances de renforcement par rapport à la maîtrise de l'eau, à comment faire pour pouvoir faire des aménagements pour maîtriser l'eau. Et la commune travaille aussi en collaboration avec le SECPA pour renforcer la capacité des producteurs à mieux organiser les filières, agricoles, surtout la tomate. Et par rapport à ça, la commune s'est dotée d'un plan stratégique du développement de la filière tomate. Oui, la VNG nous a beaucoup accompagnés dans le cadre surtout de la promotion de la tomate. La VNG, au cours des ateliers de benchmarking, nous a permis de présenter un peu l'expérience de Koulikame et de faire connaître l'expérience de Koulikame aux autres communes. Et ça a permis aux autres communes de faire des observations par rapport à ce qui se fait au niveau de la commune de Koulikame. Et ça nous a permis d'améliorer un peu ce qui se fait dans la commune de Koulikame pour que vraiment la promotion de la filière tomate puisse être une réalité. Et lorsqu'on parle de la promotion d'une filière, il faut penser à toutes les chaînes de la filière. Il faut penser à la production, il faut penser à la transformation, il faut penser aussi à la commercialisation. Dans ce cadre, VNG nous accompagne énormément. Et au cours des ateliers, VNG nous a permis d'élaborer même un plan d'action pour aller vers la filière tomate, pour pouvoir renforcer les acquis au niveau de la filière tomate, pour pouvoir améliorer un peu ce qui se fait au niveau de la filière tomate.
The goal of our organizations are to manage water resources in the water management area that we are designated, and that also involves managing transboundary water management because the catchment that we manage is a shared water resource. We also manage the activities, land-based activities, to make sure that they do not impact on water resources. Well, the challenges that we actually experience are the fact that we have municipalities that are not complying with their discharge requirements. So there's high E. coli counts. That is the indicator of fecal contamination emanating from the sewage works or the wastewater treatment works of municipalities. And because of the fact that the catchment we manage has got international obligations, we are actually upstream, and therefore the other countries, Swaziland and Mozambique, receive water from South Africa that has been impacted, which in most instances doesn't comply with the international obligations. Well, the capacity that we're trying to develop at the moment is to be able to manage the responsibilities that we've been delegated, but then we have a situation where in between ourselves and the partner countries, we are unable to actually learn at the same time because of the fact that we are developing capacities within ourselves which they do not have that side. So every time we do transboundary water management and participate between the three countries, you'll find that there are some of the things that we are developing which they do not have. So from our side, we need to be able to deal with the problem of compliance, monitoring and enforcement. And we also want to be able to
encourage municipalities to be able to comply with the conditions of their licenses. Butterscap Quetzalcoatl has been helping us all along so that we are able to cooperate with the partner countries and be able to win their trust, because we most of the time, being upstream, they always believe that we are not giving them water that they're supposed to get in terms of the international treaty. I think that there has been closer cooperation between the three countries, between ourselves and our colleagues in Mozambique and Swaziland, and they also started to trust us, and there's also a lot of exchange of knowledge between the three countries, but then we have not been able to reach the status at which we believe we need to be.